Here to give us their insights on the government's right-sizing plan is Annie Geron, President of the Public Services Labor Independent Confederation, or PSLINK. She's joining us via Zoom. Welcome to The Big Story, Ms. Geron.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Sir Roby and Ma'am Gretchen, and thank you for having me in your program.
Ma'am, your reaction to all this talk about right-sizing. On the one hand, government says, and this is not the only time, this is not the first time we're hearing this from the national government, na kailangan din tayong to be efficient, to be lean and mean. As they say, malaki naman talaga ang bureaucracy. But what are your thoughts?
Well, as it is now, I'm going to base my comments on the pronouncement of the DBM secretary, which is, just saying that that's right-sizing, but she already expressed the target like reduction of 5% and trying to realize around 14 billion savings. To me, it's not right-sizing. It's really downsizing. It's going to result and target mass layoff if I'm going to take that pronouncement of the DBM secretary. Just to say that PSLINK is not opposed to real right-sizing, because I think it's been expressed by Secretary Laguesma and even the Vice President that it is meant to really look at the overlapping function and see redundancy, and it's really meant to increase efficiency, effectivity, and productivity of government employees. But that's not what I see is the meaning behind the pronouncement of the DBM secretary.
Then, Ms. Geron, that said, what would at least be a proper approach to addressing the question?
First, let's look at the situation now. As I said, it's quite ill-timed, to be talking about downsizing the bureaucracy when we are facing rising unemployment, inflation, and then we are in the midst of the pandemic still, and people are expecting so much from the government in terms of basic services, and as it is now, we are still inadequate in terms of delivering public goods and services to the population. So instead of talking downsizing, we need to look at how, using the current workforce, we'll be able to really address the needs of the population. So I think it can be done later, and I think they should consult with public sector unions, for example, because we are going to be directly impacted by any attempt to downsize the bureaucracy.
Ma'am, but what would your proposal be in order to make the government more efficient? Because some are saying it's about time to go digital, to be able to streamline processes. How can we achieve this without losing the efficiency or effectivity of government? Because you say it's not right-sizing but downsizing.
Well, I think we should welcome the use of technology and optimizing it in order to increase efficiency. But I think before doing that, I think the workforce should also be prepared, retooling, upgrading the skills so that it will not be seen as you're being victimized by technology or introduction of technology to the workplace. So I think it should be coupled with capacity of increasing the capacity of government employees to use that. I mean, you can have the technology, but the people behind who's going to operate that should also be equipped to really achieve yung efficiency that they would like to see sa bureaucracy.
Ma'am, one of the things that has been said is that the approach will likely not be on a national level. In fact, President Marcos in his first briefings also said maybe we'll leave it to the departments so that they can make their recommendations. We can do it at a per unit level. Question lang po, has there been an example in the past that you would consider as best practice or a good experience where the process of consultation was followed, everything was considered, and then at the end of the day, there was some semblance of right-sizing?
Well, I've been in the government for 40 years now, and I have seen reorganization from quarantine to up to President Arroyo. And what I have seen, it's all the same. Like it's for efficiency, etc. And then some semblance of consultation. But what we see afterwards, the bureaucracy is ballooned with contractual workers. So I'm really wondering why, for example, each agency will say, okay, you have your rationalization plan. It was called like that, no? Under Executive Order 366 during Arroyo administration. And then every agency has also given the opportunity to look at their own staffing pattern, how the size of the staff will be able to fulfill their mandates, to deliver their mandates. But what we see is not really achieving that. Instead, we see the ballooning number of contractual employees in the government, in all branches of the government.
Ito pa nga po yung usapan natin tungkol sa budget. Saan nga po ba tayo kukuha ng pera to pay off our debts, along with a struggling economy? You've been in government for quite a long time. Ano po ba yung mga pwede natin bawasan? Or where can we cost cut instead of laying off people or right-sizing, downsizing? Where can we focus our attention to? Is there anything that you see that we can have less of?
Well, let's look at how yung sa budget, no, kung paano yung allocation. Tingnan natin yung paggamit ng ating taxes. Tingnan natin doon sa taunang pagbabudget ng gobyerno kung saan inilalagay, no, ang buwis, ang pondo. Ang tingin ko dapat ay mailagay yan una doon sa mga batayang serbisyo publiko na kinakailangan ng population, no? At do away muna yung mga halimbawa, yung do away with the travels, yung mga ganun muna, iwasan muna yung mga yan na hindi necessary. So, tingnan natin, no, yung proper na allocation at paggamit ng buwis ng bayan para sa taunang budget ng buong bureaucracy o ng buong gobyerno.
Ms. Geron, isang tanong na lang po, because you made a good point kanina that we've seen this in the past. We've seen right-sizing for the sake of efficiency, for a lean and mean government. Pagkatapos, eventually we hear, ang daming consultant, ang daming mga kinukuha, ang daming kine-create nga, even at the highest levels. I think the first order of President Marcos, in fact, was even to rationalize, get rid of all of these previously non-existing positions, even as high as assistant secretary, undersecretary, a lot of consultants, departments, units that didn't used to be there. But to your point, is that at least, it's never going to be painless, but at least is it a fair starting point to start with the consultants and all of these?
Yes. I think yung sinasabi nilang excess fat, no, is not on the rank and file. It's actually, remember, no, we're only about 2 million government employees and we're serving 110 million population. Pero nakikita naman namin ang excess fat ay nasa taas, hindi nasa baba. So I think tama yung sinabi. Tingnan muna natin yung nasa taas. Kailangan ba natin yung mga matataas na posisyon? As you said, maraming consultant, maraming assistant secretary, undersecretary. No? Sa tingin ko, yun yung dapat lean and mean in terms ng management and public administration. Yun muna yung tingnan.
Alright, maraming salamat. PSLINK President Annie Geron.
Thank you very much.